Hello, wonderful wide world out there. I went on a trip to a college. I skipped school so that I could attend school. It was a Thursday night, Friday day, and I was visiting Azusa Pacific University for their APU Preview event, and it was really cool. So we got there, and there were balloons, and there was a bunch of people screaming at us. No, they were just like, "Woo, good job, APU Preview students, enjoy APU, yay!" So we check in. My friend and I, Abby and I invited Abby, even though she wasn't considering going to APU. I say wasn't because now I think she is considering going to APU. Yay! But we went to a class, we went to an improv class, and it was really fun. And when we got there kind of late, because it was on a different campus. There were two campuses close to each other. So the East Campus and the West Campus, and you go all like up the street to the other campus. And so our class was over there. So we had to go from East Campus to West Campus and try to find the room in the strange building because, of course, we picked the class that's in the most difficult building in the whole school. So it'll go from like 300s to 500s and then 400s, and there's 200s over there, and there's a whole hallway of 100s over there. It's just strange. All the classrooms are strange. But when we did finally find it, it was a dance studio, so we were a little confused. But there were a bunch of people singing Disney songs, and so of course we joined. And then we played a game where you have to tell a story as a group, and each of you says one word as you go around, and the stories got strange very quickly. So you would hear things like, California is a beautiful snowy place when cats shiver, but the apocalypse destroyed all of the cats. And then after that, we went with my mom, who had gone on a tour, and so she gave us a little tour where we walk around. We saw the dorms. Seriously, the hallway of dorms that like we stayed in, it looks like Pinterest ran down the hallway and was just like do 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 do. Then we ate food on campus. We got a little gray wristband like what you get at carnivals and fairs and stuff, and that allowed us to get free food at any of the campus dineries, and that was awesome. So we got some umai sushi, I got a miso bowl, and what kind of sushi? I got avocado sushi rolls. I didn't realize that it was just avocado. I figured it'd be like avocado with some sushi, but no, it was avocado in seaweed wrapped in sticky white rice. So that was fun. The miso soup was really good though. Then after that, my mom left because she has to go home. She doesn't get to sleep in the dorms with us. Too bad, Mom. But she left and we went to the welcome session. We were late to the welcome session. Oh, well, we were at Umai Sushi eating our food. I got a phone call. It says Azusa, California. I'm like, oh, what's that? So I answer it, and it's some person, a student who works at Azusa, asking me questions like, oh, are you considering going to Azusa? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here right now. And they're like, oh, well, good job, blah, 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 blah. And then I went to the welcome session, but like I said, we were late. And it was on the other campus. My sushi was on the West Campus with the classroom, and then we had to go back to the East Campus. There's a trolley. There are multiple trolleys that go back and forth, and it's really cool. There's a blue one and a red one. The red one has like wood seats. I don't think it's real wood, but it looks wood, and it seems cool, like San Francisco trolley cool. But they don't get their own track. They have to go on the street like a bus and a car and any other street dweller. And we got to the welcome session, finally getting to that part. People asked a bunch of questions there's like people who are students. There were students sitting on the lawn, and the people in the lawn amphitheater seats were asking them questions when we got there. And then once they finished up with that, they had an impromptu talent show. And I'm like, what? So they were like, hey, if you come down here and show us your talent, then you get candy. So obviously I'm like, oh, I'm going down there. It was really silent. Like when they were asking for volunteer, the first volunteer, it was like, So what I did is I just like, I put my hand up, I'm like, I like candy. And they're like, you like candy? Well, come on down here. And so I go on down there. I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do for my talent. I was thinking maybe I could do one of the monologues I know, but my monologues are kind of depressing. So I didn't want to start them off on a depressing note. So what I did instead was I was like, so I have talents, but what I'm going to do is show you my talent of rallying the crowd. Yay! And then some people were like, yay. And so they gave me the microphone. And I just like jumped around the field going, APU, APU, APU. And so people chanted with me. And then I got candy. And it was really fun. And my friend Abby, she went up and she did a monologue. It was about Aphrodite and Cupid, and some other person did a monologue. I remember the monologues because I'm an actress. There are a lot of singers though. There were these two people who their talent was like, one was saying yes really fast and one was saying no really fast. So they just went, yeah, 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 no, 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 together, yeah. Someone else could like, with this the arm, it could twist their arm and just like keep twisting it, and it's just like, no, don't do that, but they did it anyways. Someone else did the worm. One of the students played his clarinet, so he was definitely prepared, and it was lots of fun. And then after that they dismissed us, and then they started playing Cupid Shuffle, and so I started dancing to that, and then other people joined in. And then we went to our dorms, or we tried to, then we got distracted again because in this little area, it's like a little circle field with some palm trees around it, there was a tightrope. It was like a tightrope tied from one tree to the next. It looks like caution tape more than a rope, but it was a lot sturdier than caution tape, and so people were walking across it. And that was insane. And so I was like, Abby, we have to go do that. So we went over there, and I'm like, how much would I die if I tried to do that? And they're like, oh, you wouldn't die at all. We'll hold you. And so like I was leaning on the person the whole time while I was walking across, but it was cool. It was really cool. Then we went to our dorms, and we met the person who actually lives in the dorm that we were staying in. And they're like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And I'm like, I don't know. We don't know what's going on campus. And they're like, well, there's a bonfire. And I'm just like, ew, people, party, no thanks. So she's like, we can do froyo. And I'm just like, oh, that's good. And there's like Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, we're going to Chick-fil-A. So we went to Chick-fil-A. I had some chicken nuggets, some waffle fries, a strawberry milkshake, and lots of fun. And on our way back with our milkshakes to the dorm, I saw some people just like running around and being strange. So I asked like, hey, what's going on here? They're like, we're playing Capture the Flag. And I'm like, I have to join in. So Abby and I played Capture the Flag. It was an across campus game. So it was ambassadors versus the preview students. And the preview students' flag was all the way near the dorms, and the ambassadors' flag was near the chapel. It's a Christian school. I don't know if I told you that. And the jail was by the chapel too. So they have the jail. Oh wait, there are two jails. One for, if you don't know how to play Capture the Flag, just look it up. I'm not going to explain it here. I tried to be sneaky, and what I did is I just walked on over as if I wasn't playing, because there were quite a few people who weren't playing and didn't know what was going on. So I just walked over to their location where the flag is, as if I wasn't playing, just all casual. And my intention was to get some intel, see how they were guarding it, and then just like go back and tell my team. Unfortunately, one of the people who was guarding the flag comes up to me and they're like, hey, are you playing? And I don't like lying. So I'm like, yes. And so she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna be real mean right now. And she goes to tag me, and I just run. I run so quickly. It's a lot easier to run when someone else is chasing you than it is to run after someone else, I noticed, because I tried capturing some people on my side and it didn't happen. But I was running, and they were chasing me, and someone else like came from over there and they started chasing me. But then there were like two people in front, and I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And then someone got me from behind, so I went to the jail. And while I was in the jail, I was bored. So I was looking around, and I saw I noticed that the buildings around me were unlocked. And like I said, the jail is near the chapel, the flag is near the chapel, so if I were able, next round or whenever I get free, to go through the unlocked buildings and around, I would be able to get the flag. Unfortunately, next round they moved where their flag was, so that did not work. But for that round, I captured 2 people on my side and I was very proud of myself. It was lots of fun. And then I actually went to sleep, maybe around 11:40. Next morning, wake up at 7, go to the cafeteria. It's cool. But they had a really good breakfast. It was like a breakfast buffet thing where they had eggs and sausage. I didn't eat the sausage. Toast, omelets, mint chocolate muffins. It's strange because you see this muffin and it's like green and you're like, why is this muffin green? But then you see the little chocolate chips on it and you're just like, okay, we'll give it a shot. Nom nom, delicious. They had yogurt and fruit and the eggs were great, especially with some salt. Yes, breakfast was great. I have a schedule here, so that's what I'm looking at to refresh in my mind what all happened. Then we went to another class. Well, I went to biology and Abby went to music theory. And in biology, they were talking about evolution. And I'm like, whoa. Because my dad was asking, a Christian school, what does that mean? Does that mean like they only teach creationism? And like they don't tell you about evolution? They're like, evolution is the spot of Satan. No, they're talking about evolution. And apparently in previous classes, which I was not there for, they talked about creationism and some other theories that I hadn't heard of, but it's cool, like educating you on different things. So this one happened to be evolution, and then they moved on to geology, which I thought was strange, but then they tied it back and it was okay. But they were talking about tectonic plates and the theory of Pangea and all that stuff, igneous rock, volcanoes, mountains, geology. But how they tied it in is that the theory of Pangea supports the theory of evolution, in that a certain species that lives in this little area in Pangea, Pangea splits apart, and so there's species on this little area of South America and this little area of Africa, which were next to each other in Pangea, and they're now super separate. So the only way for that to happen, or the only way that we can think of right now for that to happen, is Pangea evolution. Then, what did I do? I went to an honors college information session, and hear this, their honors college, no general education requirements, no exams, no textbooks. So what it is it's basically a big book club. So you get all these classic books like Aristotle and Shakespeare and Dante's Inferno and Charles Darwin, Origin of Species, all sorts of things that have all sorts of different viewpoints on different things. And you study them and you discuss them with your class and you write a lot of essays. That's the one downfall to it. But no textbooks because you're just going off of the books so that I just mentioned. And no exams because you're graded on your essays instead. It's just like a book club, and book clubs are fun. And you take field trips to museums and concerts and other places. There's study abroad opportunities, and you get $1,000 scholarship just for being in the program. And when you do honors college, you get your honors humanities major in place of the general education, and then you get the major that you want. So like me would be screenwriting. So that would be super cool, and I really want to do that. I just have to write 2 essays. But I'll be writing plenty of essays in the thing, so it's practice for honors college. Let's see, what else is there? Chappell. Oh my goodness. Chappell was the most amazing part of the whole trip for me. There was nothing really that made it stand out from normal church service. They were very much the same. But there was just this feeling, you know how actors are always talking about their cast is like their second family, and there's this great sense of community and connectedness. You have this connection with everyone in the cast because of the play or the movie or whatever it is you're doing. And so you could feel that in the chapel. You could feel that all of these people who were here were all connected in God and in love. And they were just this big, strong family who was all getting together and rejoicing. And it was wonderful. Lunch. I had Sam subs. The lunch lines are ridiculous. It took half an hour to get a sub. And Sam subs is basically like Subway on campus. So you get to design with the bread and the meat and cheese and the toppings, and you get your side of chips all free because of my gray wristband. And then Academic Connect. So what Academic Connect is everyone goes to a different session. So I would go to the arts one, Abby went to the psychology one. And of course, the art one is in the art building, which is the same building as the improv building, which is the building that makes no sense. So I was going around trying to find my way. I end up in the 500s, even though I'm supposed to be at 119, and I was completely lost. I eventually find my way to the classroom, and I'm there early because I left my phone in the dorm on Friday, so I had no sense of time, so I just left early to make sure I got to class on time, or the session on time. So I'm there early, I'm the only one there. And then my academic counselor comes in, and it's like, oh cool, you're in the same session as me. And then the person who leads the session comes in, we're still the only ones there, waiting. There is no one else. There are no other preview students that come to the art session. I'm like, does no one want to art here? Apparently it was just not a very artsy weekend for people. So I was the only one there, so they went over screenwriting specifically for me instead of all of the art things. And then we took a tour of the film equipment storage area and the film creation area and the film academics area, and it was really cool getting to see all that. Then we went to financial aid session where they talked about all the boring stuff, you know, FAFSA, scholarships, grants, loans, money. And then there's a closing session. It says on here that there's a closing session, but I do not remember that ever happening. So I went to the zoo exhibit, as it is called. It is not lions and tigers and bears or my kind of zoo, but more of short for Azusa Zoo. And so there they had a couple of tables, cookies. They were huge cookies. They were like this big. That's the size of my head. They had cookies the size of my head, and it was amazing and delicious. And there is a table with information about study abroad, table about theater, table about athletics, but I didn't look at that one, so I can't tell you anything about it. Table about honors, and then there were two tables that had a bunch of little programmy things. Postcards. They had little postcards about each major. And I grabbed all of them, even though I'm only majoring in screenwriting. And so I got a lot of information there, and it was lots of fun. And then Abby and I checked out all of the libraries. Actually, we didn't. We only checked out one. Really? So Abby and I checked out one of the libraries, and it was 3 stories, and on the 3rd story there were these bookshelves that moved. Of course, you're the one who moves them, but still. So, like, this is the side of the bookshelf. The books are here, here, and here. This is just like a wall thing of the bookshelf. And there was a turny thing. I don't know what to call it. But you turn it, and the bookshelf moves that way. And you turn it the other way, bookshelf moves that way. And it was so cool. So what they did it so that there's more room for more shelves. And so they're all squished together, and you just move them apart, and then go down and pick the book you want, move them back together or whatever. But I thought that was really cool. And then on the 2nd floor, they had a bunch of games. They had Life, Scrabble, Monopoly, all the basics. So Abby and I played Scrabble, and I won We went to the other campus to go get food, but all of the food places were closed. Apparently everything closes on Friday because the workers there are students, and so students want to have Fridays off to go do things. So it closes at like 3 p.m. So we got no food. Boo. And then we went to go to the library, and that was closed too, and multiple libraries. And then we're like, okay, there's one more library in the art building. Oh, don't we all love the art building? So complicated and wonderful. So we were walking down the hall that I know leads to the library because I saw it when I got lost on my way to room 119. And there's a bunch of art because it's an art building. So we were looking at it all and examining it. I get very creeped out by humanoid statues. It's probably Doctor Who, it just scarred me for life. So Abby's looking at this one steampunk looking thing, and I love steampunk, so normally I would be all like, oh, look how cool that is, but I'm just like, getting away from this statue. And then we went a little further, there's some stairs. This is stairs. This over here is like a little arch door that leads to nowhere. It's just to look cool. So we were looking at that, and that's cool. And then I walk over here to, so you guys can see, and underneath the stairs are some like deformed human statue things just chilling out. And I'm like, what are you doing there? That's so creepy. And then I think after that we just went back to the dorm and hung out until my mom picked me up. My parents were kind of like frazzled because they had the kids and they had to make the trek all the way up to LA and then back in traffic. But I had lots of fun, and Abby had lots of fun, and now she's considering going to APU, and we'll have lots of fun together. So thanks for listening to me rant all this time. I'm supposed to be doing chores right now, so I should probably go and do that. But first, Bible verse of the week. 2 people are better than 1. They can help each other in everything they do. Ooh, I'm so glad that we're back to the cool slideshow thing and you don't get like a shaky video of my Bible. But I chose this verse because it's explaining fellowship and why you should be like in fellowship with other people in God. And so that you guys can support each other on your walks and just generally be there for each other and answer questions and discuss things that you can't really discuss with someone who doesn't really know what it is you're talking about. Like when you read a book and then you try to discuss it with someone and they've never read the book, well, good luck there. So one of the reasons I wanted to go to APU is because they've got all these people to help each other out. So if 2 are better than 1, a whole school is better than 1, and the whole school is really supporting you in your faith and in your education, and the professors are really kind and personal. You have personal relationships with your professors, so you're not just another student they see every day. And you have so many people to turn to when you have anything going on in your life. So with that, I leave you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Let's fly away.
Woo!
I need a double cheeseburger and whole lettuce.
Skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found.
Bloopity bloopers. It's like at the bottom of some mountains. I was not expecting that. I guess I didn't look it up on Google Maps enough. This is how I talk today. I don't know how to explain tectonic plates. And there are balloons and music. And I already said balloons like twice. Things making noises. Cinderella is capturing people. I am so happy to be back on my laptop with the sunlight and the non-shaky camera, and yes,